Welcome to another episode of Wrenchin' and Riding TV. This is episode number 12 on the riding series. I liked reading the King James version of the study notes so much that I'm going to run through the New International Version real quick to get us up to Genesis 2 and 10 where we're currently residing. The simple statement that God created the heavens and the earth is one of the most challenging concepts confronting the modern mind. The vast galaxy we live in is spinning at an incredible speed of 490,000 miles, rather. Sorry about that, an hour. But even at the breakneck speed, our galaxy still needs 200 million years to make one rotation, and there are over 1 billion other galaxies just like ours in the universe. Some scientists say that the number of stars in creation is equal to all the grains of all the sands on all the beaches of all the world. Yet this complex sea of spinning stars functions with remarkable order and efficiency. To say that the universe just happened or evolved requires more faith than to believe that God is behind these amazing statistics. God truly did create a wonderful universe. God did not need to create the universe. He chose to create it. Why? God is love, and love is best expressed towards something or someone else. So God created the world and people as an expression of His love. We should avoid reducing God's creation to merely science terms. Remember that God created the universe because He loves each of us. That's heartwarming. I like it. The creation story teaches us much about God and ourselves. First, we learn about God. He is creative. As creator, He is distinct from His creation. He is eternal and in good control of the world. We also learn about ourselves. Since God chose to create us, we are valuable in His eyes. We are more important than animals, and that He did give us the role to, tend to the animals and be over the top of all the earth creatures. Just how did God create the earth? This is still a subject of great debate. Some say that there was a sudden explosion and the universe appeared. Others say God started the process and the universe evolved over billions of years. Almost every ancient religion has its own story to explain how the earth came to be, and almost every scientist has an opinion on the origin of the universe. But only the Bible shows one supreme God creating the earth out of His great love and giving all people a special place in it. We will never know all the answers to how God created the earth, but the Bible tells us that God did create it. The fact alone gives worth and dignity to all people. The statement, "the earth was formless and empty," provides the setting for the creation narrative that follows. During the second and third days of creation, God gave form to the universe. During the next 3 days, God filled the earth with living beings. The darkness over the surface of the deep was dispelled on the first day when God created light. The image of the Spirit of God hovering over the waters is similar to a mother bird caring for her and protecting its young. See Deuteronomy 32 and 11 and 12, Isaiah 31 and 5. God's Spirit was actively involved in the creation of the world. See Job 33 and 4, Psalms 104 and 30. God's care and protection are still active. God's care and protection are still active. See that? I wanted to put annotations on the screen during these videos, but I have to do that before it gets on YouTube. I didn't realize that, so I'm gonna have to add those in now, or on my my DAW or whatever, my recording software. But so I'm gonna keep reading now. That's something that I wanted to do kind of and things, and I might play around with it. We'll see. How long did it take God to create the world? There are two basic views about the days of creation. Each day was a literal 24-hour period. Each day represents an indefinite period of time. Kind of went over that already. The expanse between the waters. This one said it a little bit different. And then the rest of this we all kind of went into. And it's basically just saying the same thing, other than God uses the plural form and goes into the tetranomic. I can't even say that word right now. But this doesn't actually refer to that. But sorry, I'm reading ahead here. Okay, so I'm going to go up to Genesis 2 and 3 and try to get up there, because it's all the creation. Basically, we did a pretty good in-depth 8 videos on creation, so I think we pretty much covered that. We live in an action-oriented world. There always seems to be something to do and no time to rest. Yet God demonstrated that rest is appropriate and right. God himself rested from his work. Then it should not amaze us that we also need rest. Jesus demonstrated this principle when he and his disciples tell in a boat to get away from the crowds. So they had left in a boat. And you can see that in Mark 6 and 31 to 32. Our time of rest refresh us from times of service. Okay? Or 4 times of service, rather. So that God blessed the 7th day means that he set it apart for holy use. This act is picked up in the 10 Commandments. So, and he did set it aside. He did it to teach us to take a rest. He didn't do it because he was tired. He did it so that way we would know it's time to take a rest. So, from the dust of the ground implies that there is nothing fancy about the chemical elements making up our bodies. The body is lifeless shell until God brings it alive with his breath of life. When God removes his life-giving breath, our bodies once again return to dust. Therefore, our life and worth come from God's Spirit. Many boast of their achievements and abilities as though they were the originator of their own strengths. Others feel worthless because their abilities do not stand out. In reality, our worth comes not from our achievements, but from the God of the universe. He chooses to give us the mysterious and miraculous gift of life. Value life as he does. And then the name of the tree of knowledge of good and evil implies that evil had already occurred, if not in the garden, then at the time of Satan's fall. Okay, so there is a nice little shout out to the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is where we left off. And to me, it kind of almost seemed like a test, It's like one tree is life that will give you eternal life, and you can just kick it in the garden with God and enjoy, I don't know if they were, making kids in the garden or whatever. Some people want to say that was the sin, was sex. They learned how to have sex and reproduce, and God kicked them out for that. But it says that they ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil that they're not supposed to eat of. A lot of people, and when you do go into the Hebrew culture, there are a lot of sayings and things that they use that, if you misinterpreted that, out of context, you're going to get a completely different message than what was actually written. So, like if it was like a metaphor, like when Ham uncovered his dad's feet or whatever, it's like a metaphor for he saw his dad naked and liked it and got cursed, and but that's another thing. That's another story for another time. And but those are the kind of things that I'm going to try to bring some light on in this series, and really dig deeper than just what I read out of the New International Version and out of the King James Version. That those are there's a Tinsdale, I believe, version, 1611 version. Those are the oldest type Bibles, and I can't even get my hands on those. So, we don't even get to read those. But I'm going to plug Mike Rood in here again, because I know he's over in Israel and Jerusalem, and he's got to check on a couple of ancient texts, and he talks with real big Bible scholars that get to spend their time doing that as well, and they've seen some pretty impressive documents, and I believe him. I don't think he's got any reason to lie about it. So that really makes me excited, and they're constantly uncovering things, and a lot of people think that that's one of the main reasons that they're having wars over in the Middle East and stuff, and started ISIS and stuff, is to try to destroy the ancient real artifacts and stuff that are only X amount of years old or whatever, and destroy the actual history of man, and keep it hidden from you. That's definitely one view that's pretty fairly popular, I guess. I don't know if it's popular or not, but something that I've definitely researched quite a bit, and I suggest you do and make your own decisions on that as well. But it certainly seems that way, and the way that we're going seems like all this stuff has to come to pass. I don't believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, so I'm not going to tell you a lie about that. I think you're going to have to test your mettle here. But I'm going to cut this one off, and thanks for tuning in this week, and you have a blessed day.